All school's out, Miss Clara. Then blinds are drawn, night's falling. Nobody here to see if you make a mistake.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1958 American movie, The Long Hot Summer. This is a film directed by Martin Ritt and starring one of Hollywood's most handsome couples, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. The film also stars Orson Welles, Angela Lansbury, and Lee Remick, who is an actress that has been previously featured on this channel in the Bostonians? Not the Bostonians, the other Merchant Ivory film. The Europeans. The Long Hot Summer is an adaptation of 3 William Faulkner works, 2 short stories, and a novella, I think. Anyways, apparently this has a lot of similarities to Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which I've also seen, and also stars Paul Newman, but I'm really just watching this because it's a summer movie, and it's supposed to be a hot movie with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. What else do you need, really? So yeah, let's do it. And before we get started, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. Oh, Martin Ritt also directed Sounder. I forgot about Sounder. A really great 70s family film.
It was him. He did it. Then his hog got in my corn again.
Paul Newman.
He had no fence that would hold
one of the
it.
bluest eyes
So
ever to
I
grace
put
the
it in my
American
pig.
screen.
Barn burn!
A barn burner is the meanest, lowest creature there is. Leave this county and don't come back to it.
You're the judge.
Oh gosh, we got a theme song.
You like a lift to town?
Never walk when I can ride.
And there's Joanne Woodward, most prominent in her Oscar-nominated role in 3 Faces of Eve.
I don't care, though. I got my morale to keep up.
You two country girls?
Country? Our little town's the most nowhere.
Oh, and that's Lee Remick. I didn't even notice.
You can believe me when I tell you.
In other words, you two girls just take your fun where you can find it?
Don't jump to any conclusions, young man. We're giving you a ride, and that's all we're giving you.
Got a little bit of oh, what's the other Tennessee Williams play? We got a little bit of a Summer and Smoke thing happening.
Looks like Varners a man to see around here.
Back when Americans were Americans and laws were prohibitive.
Two girls belong to Varner?
We 2 girls most particularly belong to Varner.
They're part of the Varner family.
What's your name, boy?
Quick. Ben Quick.
Yeah, you know, if I were Paul Newman, I would grab my own ass all the time.
Sure now. So that's him.
Oh, and really see this new dress? They show the same one in the June Vogue magazine, only without all this.
Lee Remick, her energy's infectious.
You like it?
What I like is you, honey.
Where do you get so much energy on a day like this?
That party has been going on since Papa left for the hospital.
I don't see how I can stand all that.
I love how you could automatically tell
Turned me into a nervous wreck.
Woodward's character based on her bangs. Why are bangs such a faux pas in America?
Oh, Clara, that baby brother of yours, I tell you, he's like a 5-year-old kid. You know what we were doing in there? We were having a pillow fight. Oh, I know what you mean. I'm going straight into a bubble bath myself.
Remick's a hottie.
I want to rush home and fix supper for some big, handsome man. Think about what the night's gonna bring.
Well, I'm not fussy on that subject.
Neither am I.
Really?
One thing. Have you ever
It is a Summer and Smoke kind of thing.
He came to call on me, and then he met my father, and then he didn't come calling on me anymore.
It's a Cat in a Hot Tin Roof kind of situation, I see.
Morning, lady. Fine, warm day.
Oh, hello again.
Go again, Miss Clara.
If it's work you're looking for, you can see the foreman at the gin. If it's food, they'll take care of you around the back door.
I'm gonna pause for a second. I just want to quickly talk about a writing choice, a character choice they've made in terms of the way that these characters speak their own particular voices. And I think there's a really effective thing that they're doing right now with the character of Clara, with Joanne Woodward's character, that there's this kind of southern drawl that we've all become accustomed to in movies about the American South, and that characters are very languorous and metaphorical in the way that they speak. Paul Newman's character is very, very typical of this, and it speaks to a kind of desire he has for extending conversation and for insinuating himself into social circles and making himself familiar and appealing. And in contrast to that, this is very standard stuff, but I just want to highlight it as a very effective technique. Joanne Woodward's character Clara is very utilitarian in the way that she speaks, almost to the point of being curt, and I'm sure she would be interpreted as curt by many of the other characters within this culture, except that she's from a very prominent family. But the way that she talks is very much to the point. She says, like, if you'll be looking for a job, this person is here, that person is there. It's all very kind of direct and purposeful. And there's nothing wrong with that, except that it goes against the grain of how this society views politeness and views the normalcies of conversation. And so it's a kind of her utilizing her position or her privilege in order to shut people down. And it'll be fun to watch how Paul Newman's character, how Ben navigates around this and kind of circumvents this purposeful directiveness.
Would you tell Mr. Jody that there's a person waiting to see him, please?
You could have said gentlemen.
So you see their means of communication already in conflict with each other. There's Orson, being very Orsonish. Who played Big Daddy in Cat on the Houghton Roof?
And he don't look very peaked.
Anybody know what they cut out of him in that hospital?
Okay, so he's been sick. Also, like Big Daddy in Cat on the Houghton Roof, we have a very kind of domineering father figure who... And there's Angela Lansbury. Stack cast. But a domineering patriarchal figure who is also dealing with underlying health issues. And a very blunt, but we'll just note it for now, a very blunt costuming choice to dress him in that kind of startling red, in contrast to the way everybody else has been costumed in this movie. Mr. Varner announces himself with every decision.
We gone out of business, huh? We retired? We living off of income?
Well, things may have slacked off a little bit today, Papa, because I was home, seeing to your arrival.
Next.
This is the same year as such a deal.
Your own.
What do you want to know, Papa?
You still fixing to get yourself known as the best-looking, richest old man in the county, or you seen any young people?
I never really wanted to see Hank Quinlan in color.
Hope this doesn't come as a shock to your nervous system, Papa, but when you're away, I do what I please.
Well, I'm back. Lucius!
Yeah, Clara uses her words very aggressively. While staying in the realms of, like, polite conversation, she definitely makes most of her kind of, like, attacks or defenses using language. Simple stuff, simple teenager stuff, like giving one-word responses to her father. Hey, just another side note. I'm aware that earlier in the scene, it's alluded to that Clara is in her early 20s. So when I say her speech patterns are like that of a teenager's, I just mean in terms of the regressive way she speaks with her father and perhaps many other people within the scope of this community. Oh God, Confederate flags everywhere.
You don't give me my due respect in front of my wife.
No use. You and me just don't talk the same language. Wheeled and I deal, that's what I done, boy. Now, what about you?
Wheeling and dealing and scheming. Go back where you fucking came from.
And a fella come down here from Boston, Massachusetts. He bought a lot of land.
I just look at this guy and I imagine it's Richard Conti. Anthony Franciosa.
What's the name of this poor unfortunate?
Fella named
Poor unfortunate soul.
Quick.
Then
quick.
Uh-oh.
Flame follows that man around like a dog. He's a bald burner.
Yeah, I guess his reputation precedes him. But like Stephen Yuen in Burning, Paul Newman has a symbolic attachment to him, an elemental attachment, that of fire. That of heat, of ignition, destruction.
I'm Varner.
Yeah, already met one, Varner.
Boy, I hear your boy that gets in a little trouble with your landlords.
You scared of me, mister. Why don't you just come right out and say so?
We're all scared of you, Paul. We're all scared of you. Tremendous powers.
Because I got a reputation for being a dangerous man.
With dangerous traps.
You're a young, dangerous man.
Oh, Alan, I love this place.
I suppose I ought to sell this place, put it to corn and cotton, go out and get a job like everybody else.
So is this another Cat in the Hot Tin Roof connection? Is this her paramour? Her, like, long-standing
Your father refers to me as
courtship
decayed gentry.
with a man who's kind of
That's
infirm?
because he is pea green with envy. Alan, I want you to be hale and hearty again. I want
Yeah. An infirm man. Oh my gosh, another Cat in the Hot Tin Roof connection. That's weird. This was made the same year, this came out the same year as Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, and it's based on a different source text, but like a lot of overlap. Oh shit, that horse is bronking.
Why, you old crook, you. Them's horses out of hell.
That's right.
Little costuming details that I hate. Orson Welles, his collar is sticking out of his jacket, and his fly is not fully zipped. Very Orson Welles-y kind of decisions.
Well, I can see you've got no written all over your face, but now wait a minute. Now you stop and you think a minute. You can ride off steam.
The beauty
with
of
bad temper
language
if you happen
again.
to be afflicted that
Beautiful, the beauty of the southern means of communication. The southern language. The metaphorical, the anecdotal,
right the first time, Mr. Quick. I got no written all over my
the
face.
circuitous.
That don't bother me none at all, folks. A lot of women say no when they mean yes.
Oh my God.
Work them like hell all day long, and every time you think about it, and pretty soon, every jackrabbit one of them, they're gonna be so tame you'll have to put them out of the house at night like a cat.
Well done, well done. That's a lot of language to do in one breath. Paul Newman, he has good training.
I got a hum in my blood, and I feel as if I'd swallow.
That's something I do appreciate for most of the actors in this. Most of the lead actors in this, they all have some background in theater work.
Shut up, son.
You're not much of a prospect, Miss Clara.
You don't need my money, Mr. Quick. You got everybody else's.
Yeah, but it's the holdout that challenges me.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Quick, the last time I
And so this is a good aspect that Clara, despite being resistant still to Ben, is opening up her language a little bit more and more. Oh, wow! It's like a metaphor or something.
I like your push. Yes, I like your style. I like your...
You're an important part of the big push. I don't want to be a part of your big push.
Make you a president of this place.
Well, thank you for nothing. It's falling apart.
You know, you could build it up for the love of your life and send her letters every day for 5 years.
Those boys don't sound like a bunch of tomcats yowling at the moon.
You call that harmless? And now you quit it off.
I really, really imagine Richard Conte in this role.
Yeah, they don't have to see her. They can smell her.
Tom Shortley, BK Bookwright, John Fisher. Now I know it's you out there. Now quit it. It's not her fault. It's yours. They come here because they know you gonna laugh. Bet you did. I bet you stayed longest and yelled loudest.
Probably did.
Your mama listens.
Ugh! 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 Yeah, Dad's bad news.
Why did I make such a fuss about it?
Because it offended you?
No, it's because Paul Newman was there.
It didn't. Nothing wrong with being anxious about your love life. I'm about mine.
She's down bad. All of the characters in this movie are down bad. What's Alan's problem? I hate to admit it, but the dad's right. He is a little bit standoffish.
Boys in the bushes, let nature take its course.
Why, Clara, nature is taking its course. You're not the kind of girl to be howled at and dragged off the porch into the bushes.
But that's what she wants.
Nice,
Summer and
quiet,
smoke.
self-contained
Tennessee
girl.
Williams.
Let's go holler off a bridge, good and loud.
I think there's been enough commotion around here already tonight.
You want quiet?
Let's go find us a needle in a haystack.
It's the fucking Life and Death Brigade in Gilmore Girls. It's fucking Logan Hunsenberger.
Isn't this the point of being young? It's your choice, Ace. People can live 100 years without really living for a minute. You climb up here with me, it's one less minute you haven't lived.
Let's go. The starch in my petticoat began to rustle, and I'd know I was out of character.
Get out of character, lady. Come on, get way out.
Mr. Quick, there's a volume of Jane Austen upstairs by my bed and a glass of hot milk that's getting cold.
But if you saving it all for him, honey, you got your account in the wrong bank.
You can leave any time now.
Don't ask me twice.
Yeah, and again, they're establishing kind of a tempo, a cadence with each other, where every single time they speak, she's engaged more and more, and then he pushes one too many buttons, and then she falls back.
Your mama was 18 when I married her. Just turned. What do you do out here, you and Alan, huh?
Thousands of acres.
You'd think a young, enterprising man would be... Some of them would be more interested in Clara.
It's gonna be now, Missy. No more pussyfoot, no more holding hands and
Oh, poor old sick dad needs to see the continuation of the family line. It's always on his time. Always on his time.
Because your daddy said so. That's what I want, Varners. And more Varners, yeah, and more Varners still. Enough Varners to infest the countryside. I mean, so that quick, that big stud.
That's disgusting.
You mean you
Jesus
tell me away
Christ.
like that?
Oh, poor Jody. When's my time gonna come?
He don't know nothing, and he don't care nothing about you and your words. No, sir. Thank you for your encouragement and kind support.
Thank you for showing me the real meaning of love.
No, you got no call to be insulting. As your wife, I just don't want to see you get passed by that boy.
It's like costume jewelry, but the size of the diamond on her ring is just offensive.
Yeah, Jody.
It's a beautiful green dress on Joanne Woodward. What does that look like?
It's a little late to be keeping store, isn't it?
Well, it's a warm night. I've been drinking some beer. You want some?
No, thank you.
And their conversations gradually increase, and they stop talking about direct things and start talking about indirect things.
You got a thin skin is what you got. But the world belongs to the meat eaters, Miss Clara, and if you have to take it raw, take it raw.
I couldn't live that way.
Hey, just a brief aside, I want to highlight something that's happening here. Joanne Woodward is being lit from above and from behind, and it's creating this really lovely, soft but defined rim around her silhouette. You can see it most pronounced along her hair, but if you look closely, there's just a subtle edge that's created along the contours of her shoulder and down into the dress, and you even see it faintly on the recesses of the shadow along her neckline. It's just beautiful lighting on a beautiful, beautiful actress. The same could be said of Paul Newman on the reverse, but it's not as subtle.
Couldn't live that way.
Well, let's just examine the way you do live, Miss Clara. Now you drive around.
And in terms of the directness and the forcefulness of Clara's character, she's usually stationary in a lot of these scenes. She doesn't move around a lot, and that kind of denotes her character's strong will and singular purpose. And this is one of the first scenes in which she moves around and expresses kind of different facets, different different tacks. This advancement and retreat
out, Miss Clara.
That they're both playing with each other.
Barn burner!
This would be so much hotter if Paul Newman wasn't wearing the worst costume possible for this scene.
I'm gonna be kind of brotherly, Judy. I brought you home a big brother.
I wonder how many fake noses Orson Welles owned. That's another thing I don't really understand. Why is he... I mean, it's because his son is incompetent, but if he cares so much about having sons, having a male lineage, he should be more concerned with his son having children.
For me? Or regard for me? Just tell me that.
You're just trying to make yourself miserable. I put down a big footprint. I said, here, step in, fill it.
So I guess that's kind of the consumptive aspect of Daddy Varner's personality, that he says these things that he doesn't really want. He's just constantly hungry, trying to fill something that it won't be filled. He wants sons. He has a son. His son doesn't meet his expectations, and so he creates this ideal version of a son, of a lineage, and he puts his claim on Clara to complete it when he could just like foster a better relationship with Jody. It's I don't like this character, obviously, and I think he's immensely cruel to the people who are close to him, but you can kind of sense the desperation that's underneath, the gaping hole that can't be filled in his personality that he just constantly wants and is constantly unfulfilled. And you maybe get a sense that part of this has been exacerbated by the unspoken death of his wife, of the family matriarch. Oh, this is the Paul Newman we all wanted to see. He must have known. He must have known that he was just like a hunk of meat in this movie.
Pretty with them all.
Oh my god. What is that?
You look mighty young.
What is
Miss Clara,
that?
all curled up in your bed. Like you just washed your hands and brushed your teeth and said your prayers like a little girl. Clara. Clara.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
He's got apple pie, he's got a suit, he's got money. He's coming for your territory, Jody. And a nice, slight little costume decision that Ben decides to wear also shares the same kind of color scheme as Daddy Varner.
$10. $10 is bid. Come on, folks. Anybody going to hike that sum? I'll make it 11. Well, Mr. Quick is interested in competing.
Another Gilmore Girls episode, the picnic basket auction.
You hear $16.
Amy Sherman Palladino shaped her entire character, Milo Ventimiglia, on Paul Newman in The Long Hot Summer.
Sold to Mr. Van Quick for $50. It's gonna be about the most expensive chicken supper you ever had, boy.
Yeah, it's another picnic auction. I'm just gonna make a video on all of the Gilmore Girls connections in Long Hot Summer.
All right, folks. Now.
La 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 la. The same wooden bridge as in Gilmore Girls.
It's quite a gesture you made back there. What do you expect to live on for the rest of the month?
I have prospects.
Trembling little rabbit full of smoldering, unsatisfied desires.
Is that so?
Well,
yes, that's
yes
so.
and no.
I'm a woman full grown, very smart, and not at all bad to look at.
Amen.
And I expect to live at the top of my bent with no help from you. I don't know what arrangement you think you have with my father, but you'll find you have no bargain with me. You have been hoodwinked, Mr. Quick.
I can see why Amy Sherman Palladino resonated with this aspect of the movie.
You're too much like my father to suit me, and I'm an authority on him.
He's a wonderful old man.
One wolf recognizes another.
And it is kind of like a Rory Gilmore kind of thing, that Jess is very, very similar to Christopher.
Yes, sir. They're going to say there goes that poor old Clara Varner, whose father married her off to a dirt-scratching, shiftless, no-good farmer who just happened by. Well, let him talk. I'll tell you one thing.
You're going to love
wake up in the morning,
the sex that we have. Yes!
That's not enough. Do you understand me? That Mr. Quick, I am a human being. Do you know what that means? It means I set a price on myself. A high, high price. I've got things I have been saving up my whole life. Things like love and understanding and jokes and good times and good cooking.
And Rory wasted those on Logan.
Buy yourself a bus ticket and disappear. Change your name, dye your hair, get lost. And then maybe, just maybe, you're going to be safe from me. Clara?
And Dean sucks too. Dean sucks. I know Jess isn't a good... We're not going to deliberate on this. Everybody has their own opinions on Gilmore Girls. I just know that Max Medina was perfect for Lorelai, and that's all I really need to say on the subject. Probably boring in bed, but what about Luke Danes makes you think he'd be good in bed?
But do you want me the way a man wants a woman?
What I want is to help you, Clara.
What does that mean?
Alan, that...
You're so sweet, so graceful, so intelligent.
Oh.
And you never made any demands.
Oh.
Well, I wanted to.
Sure. Everyone fucking sucks in this movie.
What are you doing? You looking for me, Jody?
I'm looking for you. I found you. Everything's gone wrong in my life.
Those
I've been cut
greens
down to
were
nothing.
beautiful.
I lost me my stall.
Don't get to see a lot of those greens in this movie.
He hates me. Worse than ever.
Now look at that, Jody. This ain't wages, Jody. It ain't spending money. Jody, this is treasure.
You kidding me?
No, sir.
Huh?
That old Frenchman's place, you know, your daddy gave me?
There's like there are some incongruities that come with adapting 3 different William Faulkner works, but there's this kind of strange atmosphere that's created too, where there seems like there's these overlapping mythos that are happening. I'll talk about it more when the movie's finish, but it really feels like all these different worlds are kind of meeting up at a point of crisis, at a boiling point, and it's really very, very different stories coming together. Sometimes imperfectly, but really interestingly.
What are we coming?
I, in terms of psychology, I don't feel like the Jody character is perfectly rendered, but in terms of the symbolism of this, that he's willing to like uproot his entire like family estate to try and find this treasure that doesn't really serve him a purpose. I think it's a really nice kind of metaphor for his personality, or if not his personality, the kind of desperation he's been put in by his father.
Getting kind of anxious about you, boy.
I'm out from under your thumb, Papa. I paid that Ben Quick friend of yours $1,000 for the rights to this land, and everything I find here is mine.
He is incredibly foolish.
What you think? This piece was minted in 1910.
What?
Being quick.
Yeah. Not a great deal you made.
Someday I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Jody.
If it wasn't so constrained, I think this is, I enjoy this, but if it wasn't so constrained to this kind of studio format, you can really feel underneath the Faulkner piece, the kind of rougher, raw Faulkner piece, like bursting to escape, like this roaring, demented, gothic Faulkner piece on family, on betrayal, on a family lineage or family tree swallowing itself whole, that is laid underneath this kind of very formal studio movie.
What do you know about women, Papa?
I had the best.
Yeah, this is tied into with the death of his wife.
Your mother and I were just...
You don't need to say it. We figured it out like 20 minutes ago. Look,
She lit up the whole world for me.
Zampano is one of the great characters
I'll
conceived
tell
for
you
film.
something remarkable.
I need to stop watching movies with this Zampano character.
Have I done wrong with you? I mean,
Yes.
Sometimes the strong just roll over the weak.
Sometimes, Papa.
The famous Gilmore Girls Jeep also.
You got yourself a blue suit? Get it clean. Get yourself a haircut. You gonna be married.
La 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 la.
The mouthful.
He's gonna die. He's gonna have a heart attack.
It's about half hour ago.
He's gonna get struck by the horse. Oh, he's gonna get killed by his son. Set fire to the barn burner. Oh my god. Fine bit of screenwriting. Yeah, I think I think the barn is dry enough. I think he'll be fine.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I love this aspect. The Jody character has been the standout for this movie, just in terms of the intensity of emotion. It's very, very arch. Like, I wouldn't say this is pitch perfect, or it wouldn't be in other movies, but it's the right kind of it's the right kind of contrast in this movie.
You got hellfire and damnation in you, Jody Varner. But you got redemption, too.
It's fucking Vince McMahon. The only way he could see his son as a man is if he tried to set him on fire. He's tried to set his own father on fire.
I got me a son again.
I'm actually kind of shocked, but also in some ways happy to find out how little impact Paul Newman's character had on this movie.
Story of my life.
Get in, they drive away. It's Badlands.
Get in. Get in.
Do it. Why not? Go on a road trip together. See if you like each other when you come out of it.
I seen about 55 like that. I seen men with their shirts on fire. I was raised on that smell of gasoline around me. My old man used to keep him around the house in case he had a grudge he wanted to settle.
What?
My old man.
Okay, so his dad was a pyromaniac.
Remember that house burning and these men on horseback and the sound of shots my old man was running?
I know it's not this, but I'm like thinking about Picnic right now. I'm thinking about what's the name of those characters, like Judd and Madge or something like that. This is like a far more dramatic story or monologue than that character has in Picnic, but it's the same kind of character archetype. The man who runs, the beautiful boy who's constantly on the lam,
If you just tell them.
who's constantly chased, who's the outsider, the Jess.
All right, then change your name. Get rid of it.
I'm a proud man, Miss Clara. My name is Quick, no matter how much people hate it. You're a hard-headed, soft-hearted woman, Miss Clara, and I like you a lot.
You do you?
Yes, ma'am, I do. All of a sudden, I do. I can let you
Jess, what are you doing here? I came back. What? Why?
You couldn't tame me, but you taught me.
Sunday, we open us some kegs of beer and have a party. You're gonna have company Sunday, Will. Thanks, Will. Thanks.
It's such a mix of emotions I'm feeling right now, because there's like two parts of my brain right now. There's a part that doesn't love this, that really doesn't love this, and there's a part of me that is so excited by this, that enjoys this so much.
Papa, wild horses wouldn't drag me off this front porch.
Will, you know, in all this scheming you've been doing, we forgot something.
Childhood living.
Yeah, I know, and you
it's
don't
easy to do.
And neither did I. Have it your way, Will.
I got influence. I'll dog you, boy. Wherever you go, I'll break you.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
You'll miss me.
So you run. And you keep on running.
You run,
and
I
you buy
come.
yourself a bus ticket and you disappear. And you change your name and you dye your hair. And maybe,
Maybe, just maybe,
you might be safe from me.
yeah. Southerners are just messy as shit. Jesus Christ, give me awkward, weird Eugene O'Neill New Englanders. I want to see family lines die. God. Perfect. The character scrolls. Oh my god. Liam Remick, what a beauty. Really? Yeah, I don't really know what to say. In terms of this being like a work of art, I don't really think of this as like a work of art. Just in terms of mechanics or whatever, in terms of the production of it, there are so many things that were done poorly or executed awkwardly, and there's a kind of tonal disconnect between the writing and the performers and the direction, certainly, and also the kind of styles and mannerisms ranging from the intensely arch and from the Orson Welles side to the incredibly muted, I'd say, in some ways for Paul Newman's performance, but also strangely, I think, a pretty muted performance from Joanne Woodward, especially compared to what I've seen of her she's capable of in 3 Phases of Eve, which was like a year before this. I think that this was like a tonal mess, like really a tonal mess, but as like a piece of melodrama, as a piece of drama, as a piece of gossip, I like absolutely loved that. It like clicked so many buttons for me. It was so harebrained and strange in its own way, in its own ways, and intense in its own ways, but not falling into a true tragedy. It was like, we gotta burn a house down just so that characters realize that they want to get laid. Like, that's the perfect middle ground for a melodrama for me. That is exactly the tone that I would expect for like a Hollywood studio film, or for an episode of Gilmore Girls, or it just strikes that exact tone of extreme emotions, but nothing pushing too far against the limits. And so for that, I really love this, and it's really fun to see kind of how influential this thing is, and how in really awkward fashion it's also a culmination of a lot of different influences, a lot of Southern influences. Obviously we see the Tennessee Williams. It's obviously based on William Faulkner, and for my count, it seemed to evoke some sort a little bit of Inge in the construction of the character dynamics, in terms of the like in terms of the quadrilaterals and the characters triangulating against each other. There's some overlap with Williams too, of course, but for me, I think of Inge, I think of Picnic, and I think of Bus Stop, and I think of Come Back Little Sheba. Yeah, as a piece of melodrama, I just really love this, and I think that as much as I had reservations early on in this, every actor was like ready and willing and capable of meeting the extreme highs of producing something so melodramatic and so messy and so captivating, so engrossing for an audience who want to experience a huge flush of emotions, and who want sex, and who want a little bit of drama, and who want bad parents and naughty children. Yeah, I really ended up liking Anthony Franciosa's performance as Jody. I was a little bit muted on Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, honestly, but their chemistry at the end, while it wasn't like the intense sexual chemistry that I was expecting from them, it was the right kind of Hollywood melodramatic chemistry. Yeah, I don't know. I loved a lot of that, honestly. I loved how much Gilmore Girls there was in this. Clearly Amy Sherman Palladino loves this movie, and for that I can't really fault it. Yeah, I've outed myself as a huge Gilmore Girls fan, I guess, but I really loved The Long Hot Summer. Give it a watch. Why not? And be sure to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. And until next time, Jesus Christ, Paul Newman's abs. Oh, wow.